Can't stress it enough. Make sure you are looking at this thing because this is going to be the process that you want to go through. My cat has wandered off, but fun fact is after you finish these videos, it starts auto playing. And I walked away and she was confused because she saw me in one spot, but my voice in another spot. So I saw her doing the like look back and forth thing. And it's like, what is going on? Anyway, sorry, peek behind the curtain. Okay, we're going to do a bigger one now. We're going to do a 3x3. And hopefully it will not end in disaster. So Mel thinks it's gonna. Sorry, I think we're all doomed based on cats. Yeah, I know life can be hard. Okay. All right. So first thing, we're gonna convert this into an augmented matrix. So 1, 1, -1, 0, and then we got 2, 1, 1. 1, and then we've got 2, -1, 3, ooh, that's an ugly 3, and -1. All right, so first things first, we got to take care of this column right here. Now, we're lucky because we already have a 1 in that first spot. Yes, jackpot. So that 1 is already set, but we want to get those two numbers below it to be zeros. So we need to do -2 times row 1, and we're going to add that to row 2. And that's going to go in row 2. And while we're doing it, since it's going to be basically the same operation, we're going to keep going, and we're going to do -2 times row 1 again. We're going to add that. No, get off the screen. She's trying to walk on the screen now. No, you can't help. I have this plus row 3. We're going to put that in row 3. Yeah. Go play with this stupid thing. Okay. We're going to do all that. We're going to do both those things. Basically, we're going to multiply row 1 by -2. We're going to do it to a whole pile of stuff and not get bit by a cat. Okay. -2 times 1. That's 1. No, wait. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 times 1 is -2. Plus 2, that's 0. -2 times this one is -2. Plus 1 is -1. -2 times -1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. -2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Cool. First row done. -2 times 1 is -2. Plus 2 is 0. -2 times 1 is -2. Plus -1 is -3. -2 times -1 is 2 plus 1. No, -2 plus, that's 2 plus 3 is 5. And then -2 times 0 plus -1, that's still -1. Great. Okay, so first column is done. Now we want to move on to the next column. We've got to fix those numbers right there. So first thing, I need to get a -1 into that spot. So to get 1s, you want to multiply. So we're going to do just -1 times row 2. -1 times this -1 will get us a +1. That's what we want. And that's going to go into row 2. So here we go. Copy the pieces of the matrix that we're not changing anything. And let's fix the part we are. So -1 times 0, that is 0. -1 times -1, that is 1. -1 times 3, that's -3. And -1 times this one right here is -1. All right. Now we got to get there to be a 0 below that one that we just got right there. So we want that thing to be a 0. To do that, let's do 3 times row 2, because this 3 times that 1 will be 3 plus -3. That's 0. 3 plus -3, yeah, that's 0. So we're going to add that to row 3. And we're going to put that in row 3. That'll be our next doodad. So 1, 1, copying the stuff that does not change. All right. Being careful that we don't get any lost negatives or something with that copy step. All right, negative. All right, so we got regular 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 0. Yeah, it's still 0. 3 times 1, that is 3 plus -3. That's 0. I forgot my bar. 3 times -3, that is -9 plus 5. That is -4. Yep. -3 times 1. 3 times -1 is -3 plus 1. That is what? That is 2? 2. -3. No. -3 times 1 is -3 plus -1. See, it's so easy. It's so easy to make mistakes. -4. I was a little upset because that thing was going to start spitting out a fraction. And I did not want to do that. Ugh. All right. Now, we're almost there. We're almost in the row echelon form. We just got to fix that -4. That -4 we're going to multiply by -1/4, because that will make it a 1. We're going to put that in row 3. 1, 1, -1. 0, 0, 1, -3, -1. Okay. So if you multiply everything by -1/4, 0 times -1/4, that's still 0. 0 times -1/4, that's still 0. -4 times -1/4, that's 1. And -4 times -1/4, that is also 1. All right, now I'm going to do kind of a checkpoint here. I am going to stop the video and do the second part, the final part, as a separate video. That way I can also make sure I haven't made any mistakes off camera and you don't have to watch me check my mistakes, because that's what you should do at this point, is kind of go back through and see if you've made any mistakes. But that's kind of boring to watch. So I'm just going to do that off camera, and I will join you back for the second part. Okay, everything checked out. I didn't make any mistakes, which is good, because, well, who knows if I made mistakes? Maybe I made another video and was like my fourth try. No, that everything's right. We all worked out. Okay, so now we have worked our way down the staircase. So we've done this one, we've taken care of this, and we took care of this, and we took care of this. Now we got to work our way back up this staircase in order to finish off and get into reduced row echelon form. So to get to reduced row echelon form, it works backwards. So we took care of this one. Let's make these things into zeros. So we're going to do 2 operations. Yeah. We'll do 2 operations. We're big kids. So we're going to do 3 times row 3, and we're going to add that to row 2. You kind of just look at what's the opposite of that number right there. The opposite of -3 is 3. Multiply the row with the 1 by that and add them together. All right, this is going to go in row 2. We're also, ooh, look, these are just opposites of each other. So we can just add those 2 rows together. We can just take row 3 plus row 1, and we'll put that in row 1. All right. Let's do just that. So the only row that's not going to change this time is that last row, 0, 0, 1, 1. The other two rows are going to be changing. So we need to do 3 times 0, oh, that's 0, plus 0, oh, that's still 0. 3 times 0, oh, that's 0, plus 1, that's 1. 3 times 1, that's 3, plus negative 3, that's 0. 3 times 1, that's 3, plus negative 1, that is 2. Yeah, I think that's good. Now, next row is going to be even easier. We just got to add these two numbers together. So 0 plus 1, that's 1. 0 plus 1, that's 1. 1 plus negative 1, that's 0. And 1 plus 0, that is 1. All right, we have one final number to do, and then we have solved this thing. We need to turn that thing into a 0. So you guessed it, we're going to use the 1 that is in that column. So we just need to make them opposites of each other. So we'll do negative 1 times row 2, and we'll add that to row 1. And we're going to put that in row 1. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2. Now, let's add these together. So negative 1 times 0, that's 0, plus 1, that's 1. Negative 1 times 1, that is negative 1, plus 1, that is 0. That's what we wanted. Negative 1 times 0, that's 0, plus 0. That's all zeros. Negative 1 times 2, that's negative 2, plus 1, that is negative 1. And at that point, we are done. We have solved this system. So x, y, and z. Z is 1, y is 2, and x is negative 1. Once you've gotten it to row echelon form, the reduced row echelon form is a lot easier to do, but it's a bit of a process to get to that first checkpoint. But that's it for this one. I'm going to do another one now. Yay, you should too.